Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope everyone's having a great day. This is Chris, the Dice degen here on Casino Gaming TV, bringing you the daily wager. And today we're going to be talking about some trends and give you picks and stuff as per usual. So hope everyone's having a great Wednesday halfway through the week. And let's get into Wednesday, shall we? Let's do it. All right, you guys know what to expect on the show already, so I'm not going to go too far into that. And disclaimer, as always, up on the screen. But the picks are going to continue today. All right, yesterday had a first winning day and felt like forever. Picks haven't been great, but don't worry, we'll turn it around. And I put in Discord today, it's like golf, right? Sometimes you just need to see one putt go in and you're good to go, right? You're good to go. So we're locked, we're loaded, and we are ready to go. I'm putting up today's picks a little bit early today just because one of them has already started. All right, I posted it in Discord like 2 hours ago, maybe 3 hours ago. So the top one there is the Cubs and Musetti money line in tennis. Musetti already started. That's why I put it in Discord early so you guys can get on it. He's up a double break right now in the first, so that is good. Looking good there. Hopefully he continues to roll. And I will bring you live updates with that as I get them because they are coming to my phone as the show goes. So that one already started. And then there's a 1-unit parlay underneath of that, which is Lillestrøm and Strømgodset in Norway. All right. That's the Norwegian soccer division, the Eliteserien. All right. I told you guys I bet on weird soccer, so there it is. That one starts at 12:30 Eastern, so in 18 minutes. So that one's both teams to score there, and then the Nuggets on an alternate line at -4.5. I will have more picks to come throughout the day, but those ones started early. That's why I posted them earlier. So there you go. I'll have them again at the end of the show. But by the end of the show, the soccer game will start, and obviously Musetti has already started. So, like I said, what are we talking about today? We're talking about trends and Mr. Trendy McTrenderson. All right. A lot of people use trends in sports betting for a variety of reasons. So we're going to go over the different trends that you can look for, how to find trends, some websites that you can use to see trends a little bit easier, and things like that. So what are trends? Trends are going to be historical data that shows a past performance. All right. And in sports betting, you can use them for a variety of different things. You can use them for performance both home and away. So like, in the MLB, for example, maybe a team is good at home, but they're bad on the road. Using trends like that will show you those type of trends. And then you can also use them for like over and under totals. So, a team is hit the over in their last 5 games. Maybe you want to bet the over because they've hit the over, or maybe you're the opposite and you bet the opposite of what the trend is. So you go against the trend. And you can use them for spreads on how many times teams have covered spreads, things like that. And I'm going to show you websites that will give you some of that information as well. Obviously, you can track it on your own, but there's websites that do it for you, and they're free, so it makes it pretty easy. And with trends, you can have short-term trends or long-term trends. All right, we're going to get into both of them. You can utilize both at the same time. Short-term trends are obviously what they are. Short-term, right? So past few games. Long-term could be historical over the season, could be over the past few seasons. The only thing I will say with trends are they can be very valuable in sports betting, and you can use them for sports betting. The thing with trends are that sometimes there's not a trend there, but you're envisioning a trend that you think is happening, but it may not be happening. All right, so make sure your data backs up whatever trend that you're looking for, because if you think there's a trend, make sure you have something to back up your thoughts and not just based off what you think, because that can get you into a world of trouble with betting on trends that aren't exactly there. All right, so short-term trends. Some say that it's deception, that they're not accurate because of the small sample size. And some people call them streaks. All right. Now, if you guys know me, I have a very scientific heavy background, and data analysts and data analysis in the short term may not be what it is in the long term. And from a scientific perspective, right, you can't use short-term data in order to predict long-term outcomes, and you have to have a large enough sample size. So that's the issue with short-term trends, is usually there's not enough of a sample size, or not a big enough of a sample size. However, you can catch short-term trends and use them to your advantage when you are betting on sports and things like that. Long-term trends are the opposite of short-term, right? They're data gathered over long periods of time. So most say they're more accurate. The problem with them being more accurate is that over the long period of time, right? We're talking maybe an entire season, maybe 2 seasons, maybe the past 10 seasons. Okay. The thing that makes them more accurate is you have a larger data pool and a larger sample size. The issue with that is that in professional sports, teams change all the time, right? Players go to different teams, injuries happen. So those trends that you see, they're more accurate in terms of a larger data size. However, they're not necessarily as accurate because of these changes that happen, right? Take the NFL, for example. There's constant trades going on all the time. Let's say Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets. All right. Let's say that happens. Your long-term betting trends on the Jets are not going to be very good because of their historical past, right? The past few seasons, the Jets haven't been very good. They were better last year, but prior to that, they weren't very good. So, if you have a long-term trend that you're betting on, let's say, as the Jets, and you think, they're a bad team, well, they may be getting better. If you watched last season, they definitely got better. And if they add Aaron Rodgers and a couple other key additions that they've made in the offseason, they could be setting themselves up for some success. So that's where I'm saying long-term trends have a caveat with the fact that teams change, players change, and injuries happen. All right, so a lot of trends that people bet on with sports, or that they follow with sports. I already went over the home and away records. The over-unders are huge with trends, and also the ability to cover spreads with trends. Some other trends you can look at. Again, these ones I would caution you to be a little bit more careful with. The first few that I mentioned, so the home and away records, the spreads, and the over-unders, those ones are based on performance. These trends here that are up on the screen are not necessarily based on performance. People may be betting them based on performance, but it's the public trend, which is who the public is on. All right. The money trend is who the money is on. And there's a difference between the money and the public. They may be on the same side for some games, but they may be on the opposite ends for other games. All right. So I'm going to show you a website where you can go look at that kind of information, but don't necessarily believe that the public and the money are always on the same side, because they're not. The public tends to bet favorites, and they tend to bet in smaller money values, whereas the money trend could be on the opposite side because you have bigger bettors betting on the opposite of the public, also called, some people call them sharps if they see a line that they like. And there's also just negative public opinion on things, so people bet the opposite because the public is on a bet. All right, so you'll see things where you'll see 97% of the public are on one singular side, but the money is about 50-50. What that means is you have a lot of smaller bettors on one end of the spectrum, and that's where the percentage of the public is. However, the money is split between both sides, which is why Vegas always wins, right? Because they're looking to have action on both sides, and they don't really care about the result. The percentage trend, you're going to be going off of the percentage of either the public or the money, and where that percentage lies, that's what you're going to be betting on. And there's more trends that you can pick up. They depend on the sport itself, but these are the main ones that people look at for the most part. What's going on, Ian? Tell me you bet on the Kraken last night. I don't bet hockey, really. So I did not bet on the Kraken last night. But yeah, I watch hockey. Playoff hockey's exhilarating. I don't know if you saw the guy who got the skate to the face 74 stitches, I think, above his eye and on his face, and then came back and played. Legendary. All right, that's what you call rub some dirt on it and get back out there. All right. So we're gonna go over some sites now to find some info. All right, they're up on the screen. You can take a look at them. I can send them to you if you want. These are a handful of sites that I use for some trending info. I don't necessarily bet trends myself, but I know a lot of people do. So I figure we go over some of the trend betting and what it is and how you can utilize some of these sites to figure out what you're looking at and have some extra resources for you. All right. I'm going to flip screens here to my share screen. And let me get my mouse over here. So this first one is called sportsbettingstats.com. All right. And all these websites I'm showing you, I'm not affiliated with in any way. All right. If they want to be affiliated with me, you know where to find me. All right. You drop me a DM in Discord. You can drop me an email. You can reach out to me and I'll gladly hear you out. But as of right now, not affiliated with any of these. So do what you want with them. Just a few that I use. Again, these are free, so you don't have to pay for anything. They have paid features on the sites, but you don't necessarily need them. All right, so let's go here. Sports betting stats. This is the home page when you log in, right? So, or not when you log in, when you open the web browser. Sportsbettingstats.com. What you're going to do is I'm going to use MLB as an example today, just because the MLB is obviously on right now. So you're going to click on MLB, all right, and you're going to go over here to trends. And you click on that, and now you can see all of the trends for the matchups for today, right? So the Tampa Bay Rays are playing the Cincinnati Reds today, and you can see here that Tampa Bay is 15-3 straight up in its last 18 games. What that means is that Tampa Bay has won 15 of its last 18 games. All right, now that's what straight up is. So that's betting on the money line. The odds aren't factored into any of this. It's just the mere fact that Tampa Bay is 15-3 in its last 18 games. Against the spread, which would be the run line, either -0.5, +0.5, -1.5, things like that. They are 16-4 against the spread in the last 20. So what that means is they've covered the run line in 16 of the last 20 games. All right. So just taking Tampa Bay, a trend better may be just betting Tampa Bay on the money line because they're 15-3 in their last 18. Or they might be taking them on the run line because they're 16-4 in their last 20. Right? So they've had a very good streak of covering. Now, Tampa Bay's come out super hot this season. This goes back to last season, I think, as well. I don't think they've played 18 games yet. I could verify that and check for you. Oh, no. This is from this season. All right, yeah, they're 15-3 this season. So going off this, right, Tampa Bay is obviously a hot team. But the thing is, with those 3 losses, what you have to factor in is that straight up on those money lines, they've been -200 and above in a lot of their games recently. So just because they're 15-3 doesn't necessarily mean that you're in the profit. You would be if you were betting on these games. But you're going to have to win about 6 extra games in order to actually cover these 3 losses. So you'd be profitable if you bet Tampa Bay every game, but I don't think a lot of people were thinking that coming into it. On the flip side, right, Cincinnati's 5-1 in their last 6 when playing at home against Tampa Bay. All right, so these are trends that, again, you factor in a couple different things, but this is now Cincinnati at home where the game is today, right? And they're 5-1 straight up against Tampa Bay. They are 4-1 on the run line when playing at home against Tampa Bay. So these are things you can do with trends. I'm not going to go over each of these individually, right? Because I'm not breaking down every trend for every game. If you guys want to see stuff like that, you can let me know, and I can certainly do it. But right now, this is for just showing you where to find trends and then how to actually understand and read these trends. I am going to scroll down to this one here just because there's a little bit of a difference. So for the Cleveland and Detroit game that's going on today, you can see the next trend is that the game has gone under in 4 of Cleveland's last 5 games when they've played on the road against Detroit. So under 4 of the last 5 on the road in Detroit. what that would mean if you're a trend better is you're going to bet the under because it's 4 or 5 in the last 5 games, right? However, if you're an oppositional trend better, which you bet the opposite of the trend, then you're going to take the over because the unders happened in the last 4 of the last 5 games. All right. And then you can take a look further here that the game has gone under in the last 6 of the last 8 games when these two teams have played against each other. All right. So these aren't picks that I'm giving out, right? But I'm just showing you how to understand what these trends mean and what they are and how you could use these as maybe making a bet. Okay. So Detroit is 5-0 on the money line in its last 5 games, and it's covered the spread 5 of the past 5 games. So what that means, Detroit obviously has won 5 in a row. They're hot right now. But on a game like this, right, you could follow these trends and you could say, all right, well, Detroit's been hot. They're going to keep winning. So Detroit on the money line, sure, and the under. So this is where the trend bettors come into play. Again, I don't necessarily do this, but what the trends say is what you bet, right? So Detroit has been doing well in their last 5 games. And they're on a trend to keep winning. So you would bet them to win. And then the under has happened in 6 of the last 8 games when these teams have played. So you could take Detroit money line, you could take the under, and you could parlay them together if you wanted to with Detroit and the under. That's just kind of what the trends are for that game, right? And it has it for every single game. So you can see here we're talking about overs, unders. We're talking about spreads here. We're talking about overs, unders. So it depends on the game. But you can, track this stuff yourself if you want. But this website's really good with giving the trends for each of the games. And it does it for the NFL, does it for NBA. It's the same thing, right? And you can get pitcher logs as well. So you can, click on a pitcher here and it'll tell you exactly, like if I pick on Sandy Alcantara, right, it'll give you his pitcher line, what the line was during that game, and it can show you. So people use this as well for trend betting on certain things. So for example here, right, in the games where Alcantara has been a favorite, right, you could bet on how many strikeouts he's had as a favorite. So here, for example, you have on the money line, when they were playing against the Mets, right, he only had 2 strikeouts, but they were underdogs. Okay? However, when he's a favorite against these teams, right, he's had this many strikeouts. So you could use that as a line and compare that to whatever the line is on the sports book to figure out, maybe as either a home or a road favorite, he has this many strikeouts, and you could use that for the line. Again, I don't do stuff like this, but that's one way of betting if you did want to do it. What's up, SJ? I see that you have joined us. Hope your day is going well. And then, again, I told you they have it for all different games. So if you went on the NBA and you wanted to look at trends in the NBA, right, it'll give you the trends for the games in the NBA. So I'm not going to spend too much time there, but there you go with that. The next site that I'm going to show you is sportsbettingdime.com. I have it open to MLB right now because, again, that's what's going on for the predominant sport right now. Obviously, NHL is in the playoffs. The NBA is in the playoffs. But just for non-playoff games, MLB is really the only one that we can focus on, so that's what I'm focusing on. But here you can see that it breaks down each matchup, and it also tells you I'm getting texts that you guys don't need to see. That was my dad. You can see here, right, that the matchup, let me get my cursor up. There you go. So the matchup here, right, you can see what the spread is, and you can see where the money is on each of these spreads. All right, so right now on the spread, Tampa Bay is getting 72% of the money and 91% of the bets. So here is an example where the bets and the money line up. They don't line up exactly, right? But the percentage of money is usually lower than the percentage of bets, right? There are a lot of teams are going to get a high percentage of bets, especially when they're a favorite because the public is on them. But sometimes the money is lower, all right? Here's another example, though, of the reverse. Here you have Drag my picture out a tad here so my text don't pop. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Where'd my screen go? There it is. All right. So here you have the percentage of money on Tampa Bay to win is at 97%, and the amount bet is 93%. So that means that people are betting on it, and there's more money coming in on the money line, not necessarily how many bets are coming in. And here's the same thing with the total, right? So money-wise, it's almost even, right? 51-49. Percentage-wise, there's more money on the, or there's more percentage of bets on the over. So when you're reading something like that, you can see that more people are betting on the over, but more bigger tickets are coming in on the under. That's what that's going to tell you. All right. So this is, again, Sports Betting Dime. They have them for, all the sports. You can find this stuff. All the games will be there. So you can see all of them. This updates in pretty real time. As you can see, it highlights, the big discrepancies there. You can see that. So that's a good site to use there. You can also use Action Network for this. All right. I have the NBA up for right now. The thing with Action Network is going to show you the percentage of bets. It's not necessarily going to show you the money and other things. That's like a pro feature. You have to, purchase their subscription, and it'll tell you that information. But for the NBA, you can see that the percentage of bets is here, right? But you could use these two websites in conjunction with each other. Again, this website here shows you both of them anyway, so you don't necessarily have to do that. But if you wanted to use them in conjunction, you can. This one definitely updates in real time because I've seen it update. I think it just happened, honestly, when we were doing it. So yeah, that's a couple websites you can use there. There's others, obviously, but these are the ones that I mainly use. Again, Sports Betting Dime is one that I use a lot, and then also Sports Betting Stats for those trends. All right, now another one I want to show you is Betting Trends on this website, and this one's cappertech.com. All right, so when you come in here, this is when you log in. You go to the Betting Trends. So it's down here on the left-hand side. It's right here. All right, Betting Trends. When you click on this, right, this website's super cool because you could code a model to do this for you, but they have a free website that does it, so that's why I like it. But we're going to click on MLB Betting Trends. And let's say we wanted to go on, we're going to keep using the Rays and the Reds example because that's who's playing today, right? The Rays and the Reds. So that game actually starts in like 2 minutes if you care. Let's scroll down to find Tampa Bay. All right, so we're going to go Tampa Bay Rays, and we're going to click on them. And here's what you can do. All right, they have a lot of different filters that they can show you here with the trends in the last 10 games. You can pick as all. You can pick as the away team. You can pick as the home team. You can pick whatever you want to do, all right, there. And you can pick them as an underdog or you can pick them as a favorite, right? But if you go on all, it'll show you their last 10 games. You can pick this to be more. You can pick it to last 15, last 20, all that kind of stuff, right? So let's pick the last 15 games, let's say, and it'll automatically update here for us. And it'll show you that in the last 15 games, they're 12-3 straight up, right? They've won one in a row. Against the spread, they're 11-4, which, again, you can correspond this to the other sports betting stat. This one here, this website, sportsbettingstats.com. You can compare these things. Again, a lot of similar aspects, but this one's cool because you can do a lot of different features here and you can pick a lot of different things. So I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to show you another aspect of this website that you can do. And, let's say you want to go just to the American League. And when it opens up, right, you can see how the American League has done in their past 5 games. You can change it. So if you're betting on, if you like the trend of American League versus National League, you can bet on things like that. So I just wanted to show you that website. It's pretty cool there. And you can find some good information on those websites. And I thought I had one more, but I can't seem to find it. So let me go into my history, and I'm going to pull it up for you now. Let's see. Recently visited. Sorry, just pulling this up because there's some cool things you can do on here. All right, so on let me go back to this screen here. So on this sports betting stats, right? You have some cool options here with, like, if you go under the MLB, right, and you go under database, they have it for NBA too. If you go to NBA and you go to database, it's going to bring you to this page here. So I'm just going to click on it so you can see it. All right, I have it up on another tab. That's what I was looking for. I managed to close out the tab somehow. But you can look at, they have a free query online where you can look at some of this information, right? So let's say you want to learn more about the Rays, right? So it's going to be, you got to type in the city. So Tampa Bay, all right? Now you can change the opponent, or you can put them up against just in general, right? So let's say I want to look at them against Cincinnati because that's who's playing today, and I want to see their last 20 games. All right, I don't care what month. I don't. Let's say we want regular season, right? So we're gonna click regular season, home and away. Let's just say we want everywhere, and let's see what they are as a favorite. All right, and you can customize the line if you want to bring a higher favorite, lower favorite, all that kind of stuff. But you can run this as an underdog. You can run it as just to them at home. But when you hit search here, right, it's going to pull up their last score, and it'll show you here that each game, it'll show you the away score and the home score, and it'll switch based on who's home and away, and it gives you the lines and the total. And it'll give you the starting pitchers for each of the matchups. And you can use... Oh, I went too forward. And that'll give you information there. So you can do things like that if you want. Again, we are looking at Tampa Bay specifically here. So you can see that they've won. You can see here they lost. And it gives you the dates of the games too, right? So this is this season, obviously here. Last season, go down, all that kind of stuff. So those are just a couple websites that I wanted to show you there. Pretty cool. So sports betting stats, Action Network, and then the Capper Tech. Sports betting stats is one of my favorite ones that I use for different stats and things like that. So I use it for MLB, NFL, NBA, all the major sports. So, if you guys have any questions about stats or trends and stats and stuff like that, you can put them in the chat now, and I will get to them. But with the trends, right? So I showed you where to find the trends, went over what the trends are, but what can you actually use them for? So you can use some of those trending websites that I showed you to go over. This team is 5-0 against the spread. That makes me want to bet on it. But you can model these things yourself, and you can customize the models to what you want them to be. And that is why a lot of sports handicappers and a lot of bettors who model and do things like that, we have specific parameters set on our models. So we're looking for key things that we think are necessarily important. But you can create win-loss trends for models. You can create the home and away trends on models, overs, unders, all that kind of stuff. So tomorrow and into next week, how about we build a model? We'll build it for the MLB. All right, I'll show you a simplified model. All right, very, very simplified model, and we'll use it based on win and loss records, home and away trends, and overs and unders. All right, so tomorrow you're going to need your modeling caps on and your Excel caps because I'm going to do it in sheets so you guys can all see it. I'm going to start from a blank sheet. Okay, I have my own MLB models. They're more advanced. Eventually, I can show you how to do that. But tomorrow, we'll go into just straight win-loss records, home and away, overs, unders, and we'll get into modeling that information. How's that sound? Hopefully, it sounds good for all of you. And we can certainly do that. And again, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in chat. I'm going to put up the picks again for today. I do have a hard stop in about 5 minutes because I have to leave my house at 1 o'clock to go do some things. So I do have a hard stop at 1. Or sorry, a hard stop at 12:45 so I can, get myself ready and get the heck out of the house. But again, the picks for today, they already started. Both of them now have already started. Musetti, that match has already started, and the first set is already over. Musetti won the first set 6-3, so that is looking good, and he's up a break already in the third set or second set, so good there. And then the soccer match has also started. So if you want to hop on that live, you certainly can. And again, like I said, more picks to come. I don't see any questions coming in. So I hope all of you have a great rest of your Wednesday. Like I said, I'll be leaving the house. I got to coach some volleyball later on, so hopefully the boys play well and they will win. And hopefully some of these bets will win today. Again, yesterday, first green day in what feels like forever. It's not forever. It was like a week, but bad little stretch there. But looking to bring it back. And again, sports betting is not a sprint. It's a marathon. If you treat it like a sprint, you're going to get trampled. All right, I can tell you that right now. You got to run it like it's a marathon. You got to plan for it. That's why units are important, the bankroll management important, and things like that. So hopefully these picks will do well today. And like I said, I'll have some more to come. And I hope you guys have a great Wednesday. And I will see you all tomorrow. Get your modeling caps on. We're going to start modeling tomorrow. And it should be a good time. So join the Discord if you're not in the Discord already. First link in the description down below. That's where the picks come early. So again, obviously the show I started after these picks already went off. So if you're in the Discord, you get the picks earlier. I try to post them about 2 hours prior to the match starting or the game starting, if not even earlier. Sometimes they're about an hour for soccer picks when I'm waiting on lineups and stuff. But you get them at least an hour in advance of the play starting, so you have plenty of time to get that bet in or ask any questions that you may have. And again, hope you guys have a great Wednesday, and I will see you all tomorrow.